Elif Taylor, Pellegrini. White Stars Kepler seems to be playing in a sus-9 position at the moment. Could be surprising. Nico Patsto pairs things out there with some good skill. Found by Batulina. Patsto seem to be having a growing understanding. Gumia. Batulina. Sayed. Taylor runs into traffic, Peroni. Ramon. Smolcic. Jesus Rodriguez away from the two players. Peroni. Patulina wants it. In comes the cross. Kefre drops the pass, and it's tough. Como with 2 strikes, Como with 2 goals. And unlike the game against Milan, Fabregas's players can add to that early goal. And then taking pick sides towards their 10th win of the season. Look how many black shirts are in the middle. And Nico Perser has scored so many good goals this season. He scores a rather simple one this time around. Pellegrini defends well, and then it just bounces luckily to pass. You have to say, Como being pretty lucky with both goals. But I suppose you made your own luck. The Lazio, the team that have shown so many times that they have another character. Can they show it again? And Zaptadni stopped by Smolcic and Ramon. Peroni, Pellegrini, Taylor, Zaptadni puts up the angle, but they dared to stop a little bit too tight to try to hit it. And the goalkeeper has an earful. So young Yap of Ramon. Chatway. Barisic. These kind of games, which are starting to really concern Como's status as one of the clubs on the rise in the hierarchy of Serie A. It's perhaps the one criticism you could have of Cesc Fabregas, or the one area that proved that criticism would be harsh. We need to start getting results against the big boys in the league. The 4 games they've lost so far this season cover against Milan, Roma, Inter and Bologna. So they lost against 3 teams in the top 4. And it's the next step for Cesc Fabregas and for Como. By mid-order. That was talent. Hasn't really needed to be stretched at all in this game. It's a pedestrian pace to a match. And yeah, Lazio, when Como didn't possess it, could barely lay a figure on the Lariani. Pellegrini had to get that right ahead of Jesus Rodriguez. Patelli. Beats it. Pass. That's Urina. Nickel pass, took it out, and he drops to Faye. One back by Como. That's Urina. Attacking A. Talos is quick, and he reaches that first. Barely had a touch of the ball so far, but Rabko. This could easily be given. Sheriff Taylor as Claude Maxence calculate. Takray reached the ball first. He seemed ease given this season. And that's just going to pull even more problems on this Lazio team with the penalties given. And so majority is out, VAR official. In the last replay we saw, both players don't to play the ball, but Chakone reaches it first. Be surprised if Michael Fabry is not sent to the pit side monitor to make up his own mind of this. It might get even worse. ForzaLazio supporters. So that's taken a long time. But that evidence, it seems pretty clear. And Cacare's reached the ball first. Whether or not it's a penalty is, of course, a different discussion in the modern game. More often than not, they did tend to be awarded these penalties, and Fabregas a moment ago was making a very clear appeal that this was or should be a penalty, and Fabry is going to go and have a look. And more often than not, you know what that leads to. Michael Zachary has had a look, and he's now going to tell us what he thinks about that. Seguito con l'indecisione, il numero 24 della Lazio commette il fallo in ordine di rigore. Decisione finale. It is a penalty that's awarded by Michael Zachary, and someone was already a Yubi. These being ForzaLazio has the potential to become even worse now. Sheriff Taylor is the man guilty of committing the foul on Maxwell's Cafe, and Ivan Robidel has the job of keeping it up. Nico Pass, and most probably keeping Lazio in the game. It's passed. Bit safe that over time. And perhaps, maybe, just maybe, Chris might pay a turning point on Lazio. Nico passes stayed down. Good save by Robidel. I think Pass is just caught by Matisic's leg as he falls down there. I don't think there's anything deliberate there from Matisic. It's just a coming together. Hits it hard. There is where the contact is with Adam Matisic. Relief for Sheriff Taylor. So, in the final of the Africa Cup of Nations between Morocco and Senegal, how costly a missed penalty can be. This is going to be a Como corner in a game that has all the signs that it could boil over. Lazio immensely frustrated. Como, who are a young team, do well to keep their emotions in check as well. Aturina reaches past, wins it off Berayan. Berayan wins it back. And look at the Lazio players lobbing around pass. He stays cool. That's the right thing. This game has got that feeling about it. Lazio are no strangers to this. 2 players sent off against Parma, 2 players sent off against Napoli. They checked the Serie Fonatile, Biancocelesti. Austin, because their frustration gets the better of Austin. Frustration which has been mirrored in their head coach, Maurizio Sarri, who just made it no secret that he is at odds with Lazio owner Claudio Lotito, even as Lariani comes bearing down. We'll come back to that series between Lotito and Sami. Cataldi, Pellegrini now, Taylor, Saccagni, Cataldi, Taylor, Ratcott, Cataldi did try from Danilo Cataldi. Taggio Lotito who walked at Rapkov. 22-year-old Serbian player with 9 goals in the Austrian Bundesliga for Salzburg. And yeah, Maurizio Sarri told the Italian press that he didn't know who Ratko was the day after he had been announced as a new Lazio player. Sarri, who, when he joined the club after only a year away from the capital, was told that he would have the funds and the means to rebuild a Lazio team that in the last 3 seasons has lost Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, Ciro Immobile, Luis Alberto, players who have designed this Lazio side for almost the past decade. And yeah, with the transfer bans served on the Biancocelesti, a squad that was deemed not ready, not numerous enough to compete in Serie A. That's to reach the January transfer market with limited players available to Sarri. And even then, the policy of one player out, one player in, as we see it with Castellanos leaving, Gendouzi leaving, and then the arrivals of Kenneth Taylor and Petar Ratko. That was one of the points that was being made by Lazio support of the club radio. If you got the Lazio club website, there is the club radio, one of the radio stations that plays automatically, and you can tune in and listen to that. One of the fans was saying we've gone from a striker of the caliber of Ciro Immobile, one of the best goal scorers in the history of Serie A, to a player who might turn out to be great, but who at the moment is unproven and has come from the Austrian subdivision to the Italian subdivision. Different expectations, different kind of footing. Como playing all a lovely football at the moment. Tetre, Acclamia, Merone, pass, scored, but also missed the penalty. Nico pass. Pellegrini. Diego Carlos. Ball and all, it's been a pretty comfortable first 45 minutes for Como. Gutierrez had 2 saves to make, routine saves to him. Cataldi's had a shot that's gone over the crossbar. Lazio haven't really been able to test Como's goalkeeper. Pass, Chatre, Smolcic, Maturina. Score there by Romagnoli. Yellow card shown to adesso Romagnoli. So it's step on foot, as it's called here in Italy, which goes with the punishment of an automatic yellow card. That's one of the instructions to the referees this season by the head of the refereeing body, Gianluca Rotti. Nico Pass, Matteo Cancellieri, Danilo Cataldi, 4 players who are at risk of being suspended. Some at the end of this match were they to receive a yellow card. Maturina, Volvadero reaches it to Dongchi, now Zaccagni's on his way. Zacchini. Jesus Rodriguez descending well. D'Acunha back to Piti. Three Lazio players down. Further to Lloyds and smart chips. Third idea. They didn't clear the defense. Walter should get up immediately. Now the yellow card has been shown to Daniel Cataldi, who therefore will miss Lazio's next game against Lazio in southern Italy. It's already a third booking for Lazio in this first half. And it's Sarri's first job. Might just be to calm his players down at half-time. It's been talked a lot, Sarri, about not having enough players at his disposal to implement his style and find continuity in the performances, but as his players keep getting themselves sent off, it's not going to help either. Diego Carlos. Beats Cancellieri, another player who's been linked with a move away from that to Taylor. Zacchini. Vigilance to Zacchini. Zacchini. But unlike Tito Pass, he can't find the finish. Matteo Zacchini. What a big chance for Lazio to pull one back just before half-time. And of all the players they wanted that chance to fall to, it was Zacchini. 4 minutes are going to be added on. And what has been a really emotionally charged first half of football here. Fire and Cancellieri class.
Painful one. It is that opportunity dead. Such a big angle a little bit against it, but Piti. Good save that from Charles Piti, makes himself big. There's a penalty, dead. No consequences that time for Kenneth Taylor and for Lazio and Providel with a good save.
Bagnoli. Taylor. Pellegrini. Ratko. Good ball. Taylor. Pellegrini. Ratko. Turned him over by Diego Carlos. Free kick to him. And it doesn't quite drop for a Lazio player there. Alex has a bit of an easy game over for Michael Fabry to referee. By and large, I have to say that he's got the main decisions absolutely spot on. But scored down Zaccagnini. Now there was Ratko, not Zaccagni. Now even there, Ramon clearly wins the ball. Fabregas consents the importance of reaching half-time with the scoreline intact. Taken quickly, no. Zapatni was onto that as well. Pellegrini. Smolcic's head is good. Fast. Only stuff the moment. That has to be careful. Something's off Mario Vira. Tego Carlos. Good save. Should take us to half time. An opportunity for everybody just to calm down. Zayna. So the half-time whistle goes in the Italian Benespin, and amongst them he charged. Vigo pass scored, but also missed a penalty in the first half after Como took the lead just 90 seconds in when Martin Maturina's deflected effort went past Ilan Providel. At half-time, it is Lazio 0, Como 2. The Lazio with a lot of work to do once the game resumes. Man, one thing it's normal here, one point is not Edinburgh, and it's been by him. Definitely, that's the game government. The girl eating it no. No. Time for Liza, but the boy I do be a help up there, that's it. The Bill City. But find out. Oh. Well, my bad.
FootballNight ora mi ha preso da dammi sai a panare coach again to out of more to by your blood more now what why was don't it well that the start the he's that they look over it me on the outside one the bring up sip I know that this road has been very hard. What's going on in the interviews? Something about this. They're not afraid of anything. Afraid of this is something I know. Now, haven't been pretty curious. He's like kids. A king on his throne. Wayne is supreme, but the crowd sits heavy when your live one's doing. They're coming, even. They're all coming. Mr. Kickoff again. Simply to build what needs to have joy, Janala, and you know, lying, sit down. Sit me. Dip. Sẽ get hứng thế nào Kain benar sama pada. Biar boy yang maju pilih jump field. Sit. Pilih. This. Tempat panjang. Oh. Well. Bangga. Kau benar. Lihat nggak orang sampai sampai tadi saya pernah lihat coach. Tapi ini tetap muncul tiba yang betul. Bawa macam. Why don't you round it? Well, that the start the jump. Yes, it's fine. And they do like a they even on the outside. I know. They're very simply. It killed this one. Wayne is suffering, but the crowd sits heavy when you're alive on stream. They're coming to you. Then you're all coming. Mr. Kickoff again. Simply to feel what needs to have joy, Janama, and you know, live, sit down, sit me, dip. That's all. Rolls it in towards the far post, the head of their cross defense. JJ Bullet.
Yes, they give a go. Pass out. However, what is that? But Fitch try. Còn gì tôi cắt tới đây. Và tôi đã hợp ba kia từ chết.
Heading up and LiveMatch. 1-1. Miss or down.
Hold on, let's spell on San Double Daisy. Sì, di sai.
Fetching water.
Ambizioso.
Ma lo hanno usato in overtime. Questo poi basare ora su un secondo che devono.
No. Di solito me avevano appena for running was going to happen. That hey, so what the blood. So and you she's about
What am I watching? I
like you bad. David, let me up to be all side his clean out. So me that they got to buy and got my thought that then it's done. But that not twice if it's just it is what a ball. Not a good idea. Then I'm not going to do that half one who would play it and it'll be that. This is not what cool. And then you'll tell you is that I think there's nothing going on. That go on, take out down to the game. That is done stuff like that. It's the best video. Have you ever on the weekend? Oh my god, then look down. Video, they'll be getting you put out. What? Problem I can work with it now, but I'm going to come in and in the also we're well avoid and win back and on getting back in as it does like all the things look kind of no they did oh no for next month we pass that if we play for to them that why not so I don't I like all right like they look only thing I'm a bit so that we must have been but it is but welcome back everybody to the StadioOlimpico for the second half between Lazio and Como. After 45 minutes, it is Lazio 0, Como 2, says Fabregas, who played under Maurizio Sarri at Chelsea, who is playing an ugly trick on his former head coach as Lazio's side were ill-tempered, emotional, and ultimately nowhere near good enough to trouble Como in the first 45 minutes, Martin Batolina, and then Nico Pass with the goals for the Lariani. 2 lucky goals, it's true, but goals nonetheless. Nico Pass also missed a penalty, and Ivan Smolcic is going to make way at half-time, replaced by Stefan Bosch. Smolcic, who received a yellow card in the first half, which will probably plays a part in the Austrian coming on. Lazio's hopes of qualifying for European football come the end of the season of suffering a massive blow at the moment. So Como open up a 9-point gap with the Biancocelesti. It's a first half with very little went Lazio's way. A little bit hoping for a little bit more luck in the second half as they chase after this 2-goal deficit. Very little in terms of attacking play from the Biancocelesti. And Mattia Zaccagni saw his late effort in the first half saved by Jean Butin, and always Lazio's clearest chance of the first 45 minutes. Como have been true to their style, they've kept the ball well, they've moved it, and when they have found themselves in the final third, they've taken their chances. Lazio, however, have always scored against Como in Serie A when playing against them in the Italian capital. Then it's going to take 45 massive minutes from Sarri's players to rescue something from the game. Wrapped up. It's a good idea, just too far ahead of Tapsoriani. Nonetheless, applause all round from Ratko's teammates. One of the big questions coming into this second half is also Maurizio Sarri's found the right words to calm his players down, because tempo's well high when emotion is threatening to boil over at the end of the first half. Lazio showing 3 yellow cards. Onadiari, Tataldi, Zaccagni, 3 important players. We know that discipline has been a problem. So the Biancocelesti this season have had 7 players sent off. Fabregas making a change at the break for the only player in his team who is trying to clash him. Particularly as Smolcic is up against a player of the quality, the speed and unpredictability of Mattia Zaccagni. Acuna. Como starts in the second half, looked him to slow down the pace of the day and keep things very simple. Pepe, not the best ball, looking for Rodriguez. Yes, Pellegrini. Zaccagni, lovely moves. Runners around him, Mattia Zaccagni, and eventually runs into traffic. Looked like a fair challenge. And now it's Como who attack in the opposite direction. Baturina. Chakere. Rodriguez. Chakere. Rodriguez. Well, Lazio concede a third. It would end all resistance from the Biancocelesti. They'll be wary not to concede that third goal. Who reached a little bit too easily in the first half. Valle. Baturina. Pass. All the way to Lariani. This Pepe of the horn with quality. And just as we were saying, Lazio needed to stay in the game, Nico Pass has ensured that he's ended the contest. A rising star of world football who continues to dazzle in Serie A. From his dazzle here in the eternal city. Oh, fantastic hit. Baturina to pass. Glorious touch. And what a good finish that is. He scored 2. He's missed a penalty. He could easily have had a hat-trick. That's a real 12-3. It's the first time Lazio conceded 3 goals since they conceded 3 here against Torino. That one ended in a 3-all game. But there is very little hope that this is going to end in a draw.
Where do they like to go from here? Pass. Damn, the footwork was so good. That just can't get a hold on me. The pass. Jesus Rodriguez. Chinese by post there. It's a hard challenge, a needless challenge by Stefan Bosch. Matteo Zaccagni is the player who's styled the most in his Serie A. Maurizio Sarri's seen enough. He's going to be making 3 changes. Matteo Cantigliani, who might be playing in one of his last games for Lazio, he's been linked with a move to the Premier League. Isak said comes on for him. Tajani Northland is on. Yeah, Spencer Ratko comes on. Ido Cataldi replaced by Nicola Bella. Novak to start in Lazio colours for Petar Ratko. Another easy game for him in a match where his team saw little of the ball in attacking areas. Cataldi, who was on a yellow card, has made way. Vela Vecina, 2 players who was thought to be not quite physically ready to play in this game, and they're being forced on as Sally tries to tame something. They're on it first to it. Northland. Zaccagni gets the give and go. And Isak said was trying to stay on side. Oh, and the right tempo there to play the pass. Rodriguez. Checo Carlos. Amon steps away from Moslem. Verone. Space for Rodriguez. Clearly a foul by Varasic. Can't be any complaints. And all this is doing is showing how Como are on the rise, and Lazio perhaps is facing more of my problem. Just spoken a lot about Sani and Otita, but it is the story that's dominated the Italian press in the build-up to this game. It's Sani's patience set to be
coming to close to 0. Torino, Verone, Seida, Pellegrini. Just giving it straight to Torino, Pellegrini. Oh, Vella trying to close him down. Vella stopped by Perone. Pellegrini flies into the challenge. Sacciani. Vella. Isaacson. And also it does down under Tegan Carlos Salinas. From that replay, it looks like there's absolutely nothing in that. Northland goes to ground, doesn't do him any favours either. Sergio Roberto might be coming on soon as well. A stop by of Anna. Explore a little bit of quality in midfield. Nico, a lot of Ellison's coming on. Sacciani. I get the free kick this time either, and Pellegrini is pulled by hitting it down, and he's going to be shown a yellow card. And the Lazio players starting to lose their composure. And Patorina there runs into neat, cynical from Pellegrini, but it's kind of well, lucky not to be given a free kick there. A lot of sad faces in the stands. Rodriguez won't be able to reach that. Given straight to Batorina. Batorina, Chapre, Dacunha. Things carry on like this, as it's going to be a record-breaking game for Como in more ways than one. They'll be winning here at the Olimpico against Lazio in Serie A for the first time since 1952. They'll be keeping 3 clean sheets in a row away from home for the first time since 1950. And for the first time in the club's history, they'll be winning 3 consecutive away games without conceding. An hour gone at the Olimpico. Somber atmosphere. Almost a sense of disbelief. Rodriguez skips away for the 2 and finds Poch. Then Negrini pulled out of the challenge wisely. It's Como just playing better football. So nothing else to be said, really. Pass. Pico passes a player, usually stays on his feet. Oh, he's called there by Tacciani. It's not deliberate, but to imply the letter of the law, then step on foot is a yellow card. And Mattia Tacciani could easily have been showed a second yellow for that. Just feel like a couple of those Lazio players are right on the edge. Any more frustration could tip them over. It must be such a difficult time for them to navigate as well. And listening to what their head coach has been saying in the press as Baturina skips away from Zaccani. Postal quite grabbing, but Baturina, Plocci, Romagnoli out of play. The intensity, the desire that's been brought by Como added to their quality. It's ensured that this has been a very one-sided concept so far. Jesus Rodriguez. Chakane stopped by Berayan. Good feet from Berayan. Ravena. In the sentence, Tubbs. Out of play. Substitution here. Pellegrini's going to make way for Manuel Lazzari. Perhaps another bit of damage control here. From Sadik. Pellegrini on the yellow card. Lazzari played in the ball that was eventually turned in by Victor Nelson for Lazio's win against Verona the Bentegodi. Team on for Luca Pellegrini in that game as well, Lazzari. And also in here gets his shot away and it's not far off target. Always puts himself about to Sani Noslet. Times has been criticised. It's all being good enough, according to many commentators of Italian football. As someone who's played very little football this season, still 2 goals. Lazio said to him about the Panzan for an Axas Kakme. Fabregas brings on one of his most experienced players just to navigate the last 25 minutes of this match. Rodriguez, put it on it. Sergio Roberto. Zaccagni does well. Also Rovella. Lazio have struggled against the bigger teams in Serie A. There's been no question of that. The results they've had against the top 6 in the league at the moment. Almost 5 now that. And the win against Juventus. Small positive in what has been an otherwise pretty miserable return against the elites of Italian football, of which Lazio traditionally are a part of. Lost to Milan, though they did knock Milan out of the Coppa Italia. As Kenneth Taylor able to do something special with that, did what he could. Roberto until passed, but that'll stop that guy now. Well, Lazio fans would appreciate the way Nico Bella's playing. Is still trying. Zaccagni. Belaya. Isaac Seb. Cross comes in. Nobody at the far post. Maturina. Nico pass. This Tito. This that's on. What will be going through his mind, and maybe more incendiary comments from Maurizio Sarri at the end of the game. One of the things that he said just before the game against Verona, which raised a few eyebrows, was that every year it seems that Lazio team will have to start again from scratch. Ironically, this is possibly the season when Lazio really did have to start again, and yet they are not able to do so. Acuna. Fayet, between Challenge, Paturina, Cunha. Let's just come forwards. Bosch, Rodriguez, and keep it in play. Topasts. Verone. Fayet. Good ball into Maximo Perone, just got away from him. Some real talents in this Como team. Nico Pass obviously, but Lazio Fernandez showing that he is some player as well in midfield. Mostly slid by Pelaya, better straight to Alex Valle. Pass. I'm off. The session massively in favour of Coleman. Vincent not able to get anywhere near the ball at the moment. Carrier to pass the ball to. First, Sergio Roberto. Koch trying to make up the grounds. It's reached the Austrian. Koch. Blocked by Matisic. Aturina. Even that comes off for Baturina. Reaches the Croatian again. So to control. The one area where Fabregas has said that the team needs to reinforce is in the striker position. Before Alvaro Morato's not adaptable. Fabregas imagines for one reason or another. Fabregas remains unconvinced by Duvitas as passes played this through to Dacunia. Dacunia is denied by pulling it out. And where would Lazio be without their goalkeeper? He saved the penalty. That's a good save as well. But when this guy picks up the pin, more often than not, and you just know that something's going to happen. And he continues to grow in confidence and in quality after Baturina. Given a hug by Cesc Fabregas. Field turns 23 in less than a month's time. 14 to 18 million euros. That's another chance goes begging for Coleman. Another player. It's on Dinamo Zagreb. Very much at Como's long-term planners. That's got straight to Nico pass. Void forwarder. Just come on. Void forwarder. Tried it wide. Benone made the run down the middle. And Maniavi back to Vidal. Better. Now it opens up a little bit for Lazio to get themselves on the scoreboard. Zaccagni hacked down by Post. That'll be a yellow card shown to Stefan Post as well. Be twice as laid one on Zaccagni. Lazio Papu has scored against Como. And he's played for Lariani at the Olimpico. Bad Serie wins the corner. There's been too little of that. Too little of running at defenders. Too little of trying to get past your man, putting the Como defenders into trouble. Asking a question of the midfield and the back line. Lazio poor Mac in the set piece. That was corner. Serie just kept that so far off target that even the camera wasn't able to pick up the ball. An ironic chance for the Lazio fans. Last 15 minutes still feel like an eternity for the Lazio players that are on it. Rodriguez, Borda, pass. What's incredibly impressive is just how much potential this team has going forwards. Hey, look at the starting lineup for Lazio. Massimo Pedone, 22 years old. Dacunia, 24. Max Sarscapler, 25. Faturina, 22. Jesus Rodriguez, still very young, 20 years old. Players like Hassan Diao, 20 years old as well. Jaden Adai, and turned 20 in the summer. This is a team that's building and building towards competing for the Scudetto very soon. They've come up short against the teams that have been able to make games dirty this season. That's given away by pass to Belayan. Pass puts in the challenge. Isaac Sen. Taylor. StadioOlimpico Sabchani just tries to protect his body, and StadioOlimpico goes down. He's still down. What's that magic shot? Como ready to make two more changes. Gordon and Dubicas about to come on. Jesus Rodriguez makes way. He was possibly the third player who is the most play. The pass won't want to come off, but he is going to come off. He's on for a hat-trick. Still waiting to see our first hat-trick of the season. It's not going to be the Miko pass as Dulikas comes on. Oops. Come on, it doesn't look particularly happy to come up either. And comes the corner, doesn't clear the first defender. Ravella. 2 corner deliveries from Ravella and 2 deliveries that haven't allowed his teammates to attack the ball and cause any problems. Watch. Vojvoda. Dubitas. Cheap on keeping the ball away from but yep. Corny. Essentially Roberto Merzibat. Delibashiru allowed to come on for Lazio. Possibly for Mattia Tratani. Serie. It's Kenneth Taylor who's going to come off. And obviously your Ducks midfielders taking stock of just how much work is needed in a Lazio jersey. How difficult the next couple of months are going to be for him and for the team. Worked hard, well, very often was unable to bring the control that he needs to bring to proceedings. First ever SerieA meeting between these two sides in a September 1949 was won by Como. The vast majority of the meetings between these two clubs have either ended in a Lazio win or in a draw. Only 6 wins for Como in Serie. Checo Carlos boots it out of play. There have been some big wins for Lazio. History against Como. 5-2 in Serie B in 1968. 4-0 in the Coppa Italia in 1961. This is going to be Como's biggest win against Lazio. Improving on what had already been a record win where these sides met in August. They've taken it one step further this season. The ItalianFootball. ItalianFootball. Sweet Lariani. That's Serie. ItalianFootball. Good. Possibly the one signing that hasn't truly worked out for Como. It does good. Chairman, there was brought in from Celtic, where he had 16 goals and 11 assists for Celtic last season in all competitions. As these XM fires on his weaker right foot, and once again it's straight at beaten. Simple catch for the Como goalkeeper. Come on. There is football again. Como. Study struck to avoid it. That is finished. The fourth here. What's been threatening to happen? So on time, finally happening. Como players reacting to that provocations. First foul by Rivera, second, and then Rivera with a little shot on Alex Valle as he falls over, plays the innocent card at Rivera, but he was clearly the instigator. Spoke about young players in the squad early on. Alex Valle, another very young player. He'll be turning 22 in April. Bosch. Vichas still protected in play. They're on it. Lariani Martin and Carlos. The first doing a no-nonsense defending from him. 3 minutes added on. This game has been over ever since Lico Pass scored the third. It may well have been over a long time before that. They've been more or less kept afloat in the game. Lazio by Provedel. Great half shown from the Lazio fans. They've tried, despite the disappointing resultant performance, to inject support in the team, make themselves heard. Offside. Somewhat also in there. Sancho up there. So yeah, 30 seconds remaining. And it's one-sided contest. The just shit. A big win for Kleine. Cesc Fabregas and Lariani will have to be taken seriously as contenders to finish in the Champions League places. Such was the domination of Kleine this game. But it's left Lazio almost stunned into disbelief. Nico Paz will once again grab the headlines with 2 goals. Were called up under Fabregas, starting to establish themselves as one of the new big boys in the Serie. Final score here from the Olimpico. Lazio 0, Como 3. Como complete the league double over Lazio for the first time. NFL game could be exciting when each team is scoring a lot of points. Let's take a look at all the ways it is scored in an NFL game. For a touchdown, the offense or the team in possession of the football is trying to move the ball down the field into the opposing team's end zone to score a touchdown. You can spare a touchdown by running or catching the ball across the goal line. The touchdown is worth 6 points. After a touchdown, the team can choose to kick the ball through the uprights for an extra point. Or they can choose to run or pass the ball from the 2-yard line for a 2-point conversion. If a team can't reach the end zone on a possession and they feel like they are within range, they can try a field goal. This is when the kicker kicks the ball through the uprights. That's worth 3 points. The defense is the team trying to prevent the offense from scoring, but they can score points too. When a defender tackles an offensive player with the ball in their own end zone,